Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flaws, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
If you don't like me, but you keep watching my shit, you're still a fan. I can't even begin to explain how many individuals I have on my social media right now talking shit about my message, about me, about how I look, about the individuals I surround myself with who don't follow me, don't like me, and don't actually want to see me succeed. But you still here, homie, so you still a fucking fan. And if you just took your focus off of me, off of my life, my accomplishments, my daily tasks, you would probably already be successful.
Some people are so dumb that I genuinely wonder how they survive from one day to the next. And then I remember that jellyfish have survived for 650 million years with no brain. So I guess if they can do it.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Well, good morning. I'm probably sure you guys were expecting to see my bedhead. Nope, not this morning. Not this morning. Yes. Crazy. Can you believe some a-hole hacked my computer? I'm laying in bed sleeping and get a call from no other than JLR asking me, what the hell did I do to piss you off? I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, he must be a fan. I gotta say, he must be a fan because he called me immediately. And so I went in there and sure enough, there's a post. There's a post in my, and it's not just there. There was posts across several media. I don't know where all they were, but I got them all out. And there was something on my YouTube. There was something on my Facebook, and I'm like, holy crap! So passwords were changed. I don't know who the hell knows my passwords, but apparently somebody does. So yeah, I was confused too. And mind you, I was in bed and sleeping when my phone started blowing up. Like it wasn't just JLR, it was several people, but the only person that made it through was JLR because he's saved in my phone. So many of you guys know I set my my stuff up, and the phone doesn't ring unless you are a saved number in my phone. So that's great, at 11:30 at night or 10:30 at night, having to get up and go through and try to, I was just literally terrified. It was the worst thing I have ever experienced in quite some time. But thank God JLR understands. He's like, what the hell's going on? What the hell did I do? I'm like, nothing. So anyways, long story short, passwords have been changed. I'm doing okay, but I can tell you I'm exhausted because I was up for at least an hour last night, from like 10:30 to, I don't know, midnight, I think is what I was. But this shit is real and it's pissing me off. So whoever was in my computer, whoever hacked me, screw you. I hope you found what you're looking for. So whatever, right? Anyways, I see you guys all in here. So good morning. Let's see here. Who do we have? And just to say hi, I'm going to pull the screen on just to say hi to you guys so you guys can see I got bedhead. Hi, everyone. Yes, it's dark in here. So there you go. Now you see why I'm not turning the screen on. I didn't put makeup on this morning. Oh, no makeup. Right. So TD Dean, nice to see you. Tracy, Melissa, Wendy May Rain. And you know what pisses me off? It's like, I think I know who the hell did it. It was the only person that had posted that. Like it was just too, I don't know, too clean. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess they waited until everybody knows I go to sleep freaking early. But before we get started on the probable cause affidavit, which we covered yesterday, and it was pretty mind-blowing, but you guys know I was at my meetings. I'm going to go ahead and pull this up. This was the last part of my meeting, and I want you guys to see it. If I can play it. Hold on. Here we go.
Last time onward. So you'll just have 3 minutes, ma'am. But please state your first name, your last name, your county of residence, and you have 3 minutes.
Andrew Griffin, Manatee County residents. To bow down to them, I think it was more for
I cut some stuff out that was more political and it's not on here.
Because this was happening all over the country, not just here. But it needs to be put back in its rightful spot. I am a generational here. This is a town that my family helped build, and that is, you guys move forward with putting it back where it belongs, where it should have been, where it should never have been removed from. And we touched a little bit in the earlier part of this meeting about the road rogue board we had and why each and every one of you guys are here today. A couple other things, since we do have strategy, I guess this is where I should be interjecting what I was saying earlier, is there are three major things that I'd like to do. Some that you guys can help me with, some that has to go up a little further up the food chain. And that is the cyber stalking laws. I think we need to have stricter cyber stalking laws here in Manatee County as well as across the state of Florida. We have a child welfare system that is broken. There is no centralized database for people to type in a number. If you're across states, states don't even know how many times you've been seen by them over in Georgia if you're now here in Florida. That has got to change. Our children are suffering. And the last thing is sex trafficking. Sex trafficking, I know James Satcher is really in on his family, and it is a big problem here. And it's not here, it's across the world. We just had the FBI 10 most wanted found in Spain. Spain. This shows you that the money's there, that this is going forward, and these are things that we need to help. It's the betterment for this county, Florida, and abroad. Thank you.
Boom, baby, boom. So, if that doesn't show you that, hold on, let me pull this back down. If that doesn't show you right there that, you know, it's when you support this channel, you're supporting a lot more than just covering true crime. We see a glaring issue in a number of things. Since I have been on YouTube, I have watched the most despicable things happen. I have covered some of the most despicable things that have ever happened. So good morning, all. I see you guys here. Steffers, Heavens 57. The first TD Dean was the first to say good morning to Bullhorn Betty and channel. Who else do we have in here? Lady 7 Up, Patty, nice to see you. Trixie, Mama Llama, Pirate Chick. Oh, I like that. I wore my pirate boots yesterday. Brandy, nice to see you. Karen Davis, all my mods, it's nice to see you. We got people live on Facebook. No, you haven't missed the live. It's going on right now, Facebook user. I can't see who you are, but I can see you. So maybe I'll find out. ZZT, nice to see you. Another Facebook user that came in here. Nice to see all the people on Facebook. Oh, Dolly Vision making a debut. Good morning. Good morning. Nice to see you guys all here. ZZT, Lady in Red, Amalou, Freckles, Chadwell, you're in here too. Ash, it's nice to see you back. Mama Bear. Robert's girl, just an old lady. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Hermit, Steffers, Freckles, and who else? Sonia. She's part of the mod crew. And I said good morning already. Rebecca. So it's nice to see you guys here this morning. It is. I'm here. Yesterday was a really long day. We were lucky enough to be able to get a live in yesterday, and it was pretty interesting because as we were going live, the probable cause affidavit was literally being released as we spoke. So it was you know, we opened it up, we reviewed it. Let me see if I can go ahead and pull that up now. Share screen, window. It's not allowing me to share that. So we'll do the entire screen. Shares. Okay, hold on, let me pull it up. There we go. And so I'm going to go ahead and show you guys. There it is, the affidavit. All right. Let me share the screen. And we're going to go through it because I'm telling you, it was a little crazy. Some of the information that we did find related to this case. And I think the most notable is the fact that, and it's almost scary and it almost pisses me off. I have to be honest. It almost pisses me off. Hold on, let me go over here real quick and reduce this. I don't know why it's not showing up on this side. Give me a second. I don't know why it's not showing up on that side, but we'll go ahead and just enlarge it. Let me pull this down. So here we go. This is it. And can I enlarge this? Yeah. just a little bit. There we go. Hopefully you guys can see it. But I think the most notable in this is the time. You know, we were told that these people, I think they told us a lot of misinformation because they knew this man. This man was on their radar back in November. He was on their radar back in November. I believe November 28th or 29th. I think it was the 29th. It was one day before I sent my video about Wazoo, which is crazy because nobody was even talking about Wazoo. And it goes into the time. So the first thing that drives me crazy is because we were told Bethany Funk and Dylan Mortensen were out in other areas of Moscow the night of the murder. And we come to find out that Bethany wasn't out. She was at the Sigma Chi fraternity party and actually observed Ethan and Xana being at this party from 9 p.m. to 1:45 a.m. And I find that statement a little odd because we have been told that Bethany returned home around 1 a.m. So for me, it seems like that she wouldn't have been able to confirm that they were there until 1:45 if she was home. She would have only been able to confirm from 1 o'clock. So that's my issue. Now, that's if they told us the truth about Bethany and Dylan. My issue here is Bethany and Dylan were the surviving roommates. And then we learned that this creep walked right past Dylan. Dylan froze, looked at him. He didn't kill her. And she went in her room after hearing crying noises coming out of Xana's room. A man walking in all black clothing and a ski mask. And she goes in her room and shuts her door and locks it. And she's on the second floor and heard absolutely nothing but a little bit of whimpering coming from Xana's room. I find that I believe it. You know, obviously law enforcement believes their statements. But here it is. DM, which is Dylan Mortensen, and BF, which is Bethany Funk. They were the two surviving roommates. Both made statements during the interview that indicated the occupants of the King Road residence were at home by 2 a.m. So this idea that they were sleeping, they didn't hear anything, that we're finding out is not true. Again, we talked about this yesterday and about the odd statements that were being made by law enforcement. You know, law enforcement deceived us, let's be honest. And they deceived us in an effort to maintain the integrity of the case. So I can't be mad at them, and nor should anybody else. But one thing, a lot of information we didn't know about this DoorDash that happened at 4 a.m. It is believed that they were killed from 4 a.m. to 4:25, not 3 to 4 a.m. So another deceptive statement from law enforcement about this case. Again, was it because they didn't want to tip off this dude, Brian Koberger? And I have to believe that is the case because he was in their eyes, you know, in their eyesight. They knew that this for. They knew, okay, it looks like they redacted a page completely out of here. Because I'm going from 3 to 5, page 3 to 5. So I don't know what that is. And let me see if I can. So it looks like it's going from page 2, 3. Okay, so it just popped over past the 4th page. And she basically stated that she originally went to sleep in her room on the southeast side of the 2nd floor. So that also confirmed that she was on the 2nd floor of the residence, right? She was on the 2nd floor of the residence. And on the south side. So I even showed you the map and layout of this to show you where Dylan Mortensen was. She said she woke at approximately 4 a.m. So this was about the time that the DoorDash delivery came. She stated it sounded like Gonzalez was playing with her dog in one of the upstairs bedroom, which were located on the 3rd floor. A short time later, DM said she heard what she thought was Gonzalez saying something to the effect, "There's someone here." So it sounds like they knew, as this was going on, they knew. People are saying that they were in the bed sleeping. It sounds like everybody in this house was wide awake. Even Kernodle had just purchased DoorDash. She was eating food at 4 a.m. in the morning. And Dylan Mortensen hears Kaylee say someone's here. Apparently, I guess she thought that was, the delivery. I don't know. Apparently, we found out Kernodle was on her cell phone until 4:12 a.m. Dylan Mortensen stated she looked out her bedroom but didn't see anything when she heard the comment about someone being in the house. So she actually went to her door, opened it up. She also stated that she went there a second time because she heard crying coming from Kernodle's room. Dylan Mortensen then said she heard a male's voice say something to the effect, "It's okay. I'm going to help you." That is some sick shit right there. Let's be honest. "It's okay. I'm going to help you." As he finally puts her out of her misery because she's in pain because of what he inflicted upon her. At approximately 4:17 a.m., a security camera located at 1122 King Road residence immediately to the northwest of 112 King Road picked up a distorted audio of what sounded like voices or a whimper following a loud thud, like somebody falling. The dog can be heard barking numerous times around 4:17. So it is apparent that he made entry into that house around 4 o'clock in the morning, after what law enforcement told the public was their time of death. Dylan Mortensen said she opened her door the third time after she heard the crying. So she's hearing somebody crying, so much so that she goes to her door a third time to open it to see what the hell is going on in the house. And she sees a figure in black clothing and a mask covering the person's mouth and nose and walking toward her. I'm curious as to whether she saw blood dripping off this man's body, because it had to have been a gruesome scene. And that's not stated here. She just states that he walked past her. The figure was about 5'10", not very muscular, but athletically built with bushy eyes. That describes this man to a T. Why did he leave her? Because you know why he left her? They weren't the target. They weren't the target. I think all four of them were the target, now that we know Dylan Mortensen was left as a witness. She states that the male walked past her and she froze in shock. He walks past her and she freezes in shock. And still, no 911 call. The male walked towards the back sliding door, and Dylan said she locked that door herself. She said she locked that door herself. And after seeing the male, Dylan Mortensen didn't state she recognized the male. This leads investigators to believe that the murderer left the scene. I'm not going to really go through this entire, let me find you, this entire exhibit. I'm not going to do it because that's not why I'm here. Right now, I'm here questioning why in the world Dylan saw a figure of her roommate crying. She hears whimpering, and a guy is walking toward her that's completely covered from head to toe in coverings and a ski mask over his face. And she goes in and locks the door, doesn't even bother going and checking. Doesn't even bother going and checking on them. What if she could have saved one of them? What if she called 911, Xana or Kaylee or a number of them? You know, maybe they could have saved their life. Maybe they could have gotten them to the hospital in enough time that one of them could have survived. For the love of God, we know Xana was in there crying. So she was still alive. And Dylan goes in her room and shuts her door and doesn't do anything. But hey, we're not supposed to be upset or angry about that, right? Are you effing kidding me? Who the hell raised this girl? You see a man in your house covered from head to toe in black headdress and clothing, and a friend is in a room crying, and you shut the door and lock it and don't call law enforcement and don't go check where the source of where the whimpering is coming from? And then you don't bother looking and checking on anybody until the next day around noon? You have got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, the dog didn't die. The dog was in Kaylee's room with the door shut. And I'm pissed. I have to be honest with you. I'm pissed. Hearing this, I'm pissed. Dylan, the Gonzalez family, many of you guys don't know this. And this really pisses me off. Really, really, really pisses me off. Many of you guys know we had an opportunity to sit down with the Gonzalez family. Okay. That Olivia's working on that. We were hoping that yesterday we would be able to drop that video, but it's a long video and it's her editing is taking a little longer than she anticipated. So that video won't be dropped until Monday. I'm sorry. We wanted to get that out, but it's not ready. And if you guys know anything about Olivia, she's a perfectionist. She likes when she does her documentaries for them to be absolutely beautiful. So I know whatever we're going to get is going to be nothing short of amazing because it's Olivia doing it. But we're just going to have to be a little more patient. So Monday will be the day that we go live and discuss that. But while we met with the family, one thing that we learned was the family did reach out to Dylan. They reached out to Dylan. Kaylee's family reached out to Dylan to check on her and to ask her a few questions. Would you know that Dylan never responded to the family? She never responded to the family. And I want to know at this point, why was Dylan saved? Why was she saved? Why would he walk right past her? She be able to look at him eyeball to eyeball after killing 4 people, and he walks right past her and out the door and doesn't even assault her, doesn't say anything to her, nothing. She still managed to unfreeze long enough to get to her room. Might have been an idea to call someone for help. Absolutely. Are you freaking kidding me? Absolutely. Absolutely. We also never got Bethany's statement in what she said or heard or saw, only Dylan. Why? Good question. Good question. Why is the statements from Bethany Funk not in there? I don't know. Maybe because she had nothing to contribute. Maybe she was literally the only one that was utterly clueless, right? But it still pisses me off. And again, this is something Dylan will have to live with literally the rest of her life. Because now that we know that this assailant walked right past her, she heard whimpering and didn't even bother checking on her freaking friends / roommates. You don't even have to be friends. But, I'm sorry. I don't know how stupid, and I'm going to say that, how stupid a person can be to see an assailant in their MFing house. Somebody walks right past you. You're opening the door because you're hearing whimpering, and you're watching a guy completely in black clothing walking through your effing house, and you go and shut the effing door and don't even call law enforcement. What? How stupid? How stupid? And I'm sorry, she might be a victim. She might have been startled, but I don't give a rat's ass. Where did your common sense go? What is going on in our school systems where a college student doesn't know how to pick up the freaking phone, dial 911 when they see an assailant in their home? What are we teaching our kids when they go into their room and lock their door and act like nothing happened and they could have saved someone's life? Dylan, you did that all by yourself, girlfriend. You had an opportunity to help them and you shut your door and lock it and don't even call 911 for hours. Sorry. People can be mad at me. People can say, whatever they want and how I'm, victim shaming a victim. I don't give a rat's ass. You clip channels, run with whatever the hell you want to run with. I don't care. Dylan, damn. That's all I got to say. Damn. And I would never, and this is for everybody. You guys see, I wouldn't even live with this chick. If you can't figure out how to dial 911 when a guy in black clothing and a ski mask is in your house, I don't want to live with you. I don't want to be around you. Like, stay the hell away from me if you don't know how to dial 911. Because if my life is in danger, if your life is in danger, I want somebody that knows how to pick up a phone and call 911. It's pretty simple. Pretty simple. I keep getting yelled at for victim blaming and shaming. It was terrified, but I don't care. How scared am I? I'm calling 911 thinking he's going to come back for me too. Exactly, Caitlin. You're not going to get yelled at here. I can guarantee that, because I'm bitching up a storm of how stupid this girl could be. How stupid. She could have saved one of these people's life. Maybe she couldn't. But you know what? She didn't even fucking try. Excuse my language. Did anybody else hear Betty say yesterday while she was waiting on the plane that they stopped somewhere along the way when they were transporting him back to Idaho, bought him dishes to eat on, etc.? Don, they stopped in Illinois, from my understanding. But it wasn't just a stop. It wasn't, everybody's like, well, they had to refuel. Okay, I get that. But how long does it take you to refuel a plane? I mean, it shouldn't take, hours to refuel a plane. I mean, the fuel comes out really quick. Have you guys seen NASCAR racing? How often does it take them to fill up a car? Like, they fill up the tank in a matter of seconds. Now, granted, it's a plane, much larger tank. I get that. But it doesn't take hours to fill up a tank. And it seemed like they stayed there for hours. And it always makes me wonder, did they take him there and interrogate him? Have an opportunity to speak to him and just kept interrogating him until they were done and then got on the plane? I don't know. But they seemed to be there for an awful long time. Like, he left at 6 a.m. and it was almost a 12-hour flight by the time he made it home. 12 to 14 hours. It doesn't take that long to go from Pennsylvania to Washington. So, I get Dylan was terrified, but that's even more of the reason you pick up the phone and dial 911. Like, we are taught from the age of talking to the age of adulthood to call 911. She saw a man covered in black clothing and goes into her room and shuts her door and acts like nothing happened after hearing somebody whimpering. Like, why did she go check on her friends after he left? And if she was too terrified to go check on him, why didn't she pick up the phone and have law enforcement check on them? Or her call in and say, hey, some dude was in my house. It may just be a prank, but he was covered in black and had a ski mask, and it's terrifying. I need somebody to come check this house out. Or at least go to where the whimpering was, just to make sure everybody was okay, especially seeing a man in black in the house. She did nothing. She went to bed and fell asleep while her friends were dying on the floor. There is no shock in this world. Like, I literally, and not only that, but after the shock wears off, she should have had her brain back on, right? Shock doesn't last forever. If she was in shock, she wouldn't have walked in her room and been able to go right to sleep. She wouldn't have been, she'd have been tossing and turning. You would think curiosity, just to go check on her friends, would have been killing her to find out and make sure everybody's okay, especially when she heard all this stuff and then nothing. Everybody just went quiet except for whimpering coming out of Xana's room. I'm sorry. She doesn't get a free pass on here. Like, what the hell was she thinking? It seems some of us have forgotten that not all details are in this, and we are judging this poor Dylan, who was terrified and a victim. Nice look, Betty, victim shaming Dylan. Well, you, my friend, can kiss my ever-loving ass, okay? And nobody is telling you to be here. And I don't care if you call me a victim shamer or not. Thank God it wasn't you in that house, right? Right? If it was you dying on the floor and somebody shut the door and locked it on you, how would you feel about that? Right? How would you feel? How about if it was your daughter or your child? Would you say I'm victim shaming then? Or you just don't care about your family? I'm just asking, Star Sassy. Because to be honest with you, from where I sit, I like the way I look. Okay? I like everything that comes out of my mouth. I own it. I'm not PC. Okay? I'm not politically correct and will never be that. If I see something that's foul, I'm going to say it's foul. If you don't like that, tough shit, you're in the wrong freaking room. I can tell you that right now, Star. You're in the wrong place. You are in the wrong place. She better testify against him. I'm sure she's going to testify against him. She doesn't have a choice at this point. They will subpoena her ass in there. Exactly. That's my problem. Right there. That's my problem. 8 hours later, she heard whimpering and a guy walking through her house. She could have saved her effing friends and she went to bed. Oh, just another day at the house. How many times has she ever heard whimpering coming out of Xana's room before? If she's never heard whimpering coming out of Xana's room before, why would she think it was okay that everybody in the house was okay after watching a masked man walk through their effing house? Yes, Dylan is a girl. That is correct. Because he's a coward, she was awake and he didn't know what kind of opponent she was. Actually, you might be right about that, vet girl. He might have just been worn slapped out and didn't have any more fight left in him. You know, that is a possibility. But for her to see him eyeball to eyeball and she just closes her door after, like, the whole reason she opened her door is because she heard whimpering. So I'm curious. Let me pull up. Let me see if I can. Let me pull up the phone lines for those that would like to call in. Hold on a second. I just dropped my phone. There we go. There we go. Okay. Let me go down here to the web. The web on? The web is not on. Okay. So, in an effort, because yesterday we had Ricky Beavers in the house. I didn't even know he was in here watching. But he sent me a message, which you guys know I turned my ringer off, and I don't even, I put it on do not disturb. If you're not saved in my phone doesn't even ring to me. Like, it registers the phone, but it goes straight to the voicemail. It's not, you're not blocked or anything. I just have my do not disturb settings on, and it only allows for contacts, people in my contacts to get in contact with me. It keeps all the BS down. So I didn't see Ricky. Ricky's in my phone, but I had the volume turned down, so I didn't even see it. So the number here for the people out there that are visually impaired, 941-405-3357. If you guys would like to call in and just tell me, I mean, am I off base here? Am I being too mean to Dylan over this? But I'm sorry. It's angering me because we know Xana was alive. We know Xana, and comes down to, everybody said that they died instantly and they were quick. This breaks my heart because we know at least Xana was suffering and in pain. She was suffering and in pain, and the only hope she had closed the door and locked it away. This is Betty.
Hi, Betty. This is Lyndon Lim Design.
Oh, hi. How are you?
How are you?
Good.
I am totally with you. There is something completely suspicious about this girl. 8 hours. She sees him. He does nothing. It's just, and the fact that when he was arrested, he asked if anyone else was arrested. It's just
right.
It's
odd. It's odd behavior.
Completely. It just it's frustrating that people are like, oh, stop victim shaming. They're not victims before upstairs work.
Yeah, they're not victims. They're witnesses, and you know what? I'm glad that they at least seen him and were able to help identify him, and they were able to find him. But seriously, she could have saved her friends' lives, and she shuts her door and locks it.
Exactly. We've all had that shock in our lives over losing someone or whatever. It doesn't last that long, especially not 8 hours.
Right.
It's just too suspicious for me. The police did say they're still actively investigating. So,
Yeah. But
maybe,
I don't feel bad. I really don't. People they're gonna be yelling at me for victim shaming. They can clip and cut, and I don't care. I stand behind my assessment. Like, how stupid can you freaking be?
Right. You stick with your gut. My gut feeling says there's something seriously wrong here.
Yeah.
So.
And I'm sorry, but I don't want to be around anybody that doesn't know how to pick up a phone and call 911 when there's an assailant in your house.
Right. What are you, a toddler?
Right.
God.
I'm sorry, but hate me, don't hate me. I don't care. I'm with you. I'm 100% with you. This is majorly sus. I don't think that she had any connection with this guy, but you don't know, first and foremost. And why did he look right at her and not and not do what he did to the other four? There's
exactly.
I can't figure that out. Why did he leave her? Why did he leave a witness behind?
Yeah, if he's so smart, right?
Right. Exactly.
He was stalking him, for a couple of days, couple of months.
Yeah, that's creepy too.
Why are those two people left alone? And especially since she's seen him and he knew she's seen him.
Yeah.
It's just too suspicious.
I agree.
Well, I just wanted to call and just give my opinion.
I appreciate it. Yeah, please call in anytime. Every time I have this phone open, please call in.
All right. Take care.
You too. God bless.
Bye.
So there we have one caller, that agrees with me. I'm not a horrible person, but damn, but damn. This is Betty.
Hey, Betty, it's Ro.
Hey, how are you?
Fine, how are you?
Good, good. What do you think about Dylan?
Dylan, he's a nightmare.
Yeah, it's a she. Dylan Mortensen's
Dylan,
a female.
Right.
But who would you, if you saw some crazy guy in your house, head to toe in black and a mask on, and you hear whimpering, the reason why you open your door, wouldn't you pick up the phone and call 911?
Yes. Yeah, I jumped into a domestic violence because I thought the woman was getting hurt, and I got my ass beat. But I jumped in.
Right. Most of us do. It's the fight or flight mechanism, but even the flight part of it, even if you wanted to run away, people run away calling police all the time.
She should have called, or at least gone and checked after.
Yeah, or at least go into the room and check where you see, you open your door because somebody is crying or whimpering, as she says, and you see a crazy man in your house that you've never seen before, and you shut, and I understand shutting the door and locking it, but at some point, wouldn't you think that you would just open the door to make sure he's gone and go check on your friends?
At least call her name.
Yeah. Why wouldn't she call anybody's name? Like, hey, Xana, are you okay over there? I just saw a dude walking through the house. Are you okay? Hello?
Yeah.
Is anybody home? I mean, where are you guys? I would have went in and checked just out of curiosity.
But I said, crazy. I would have jumped in there.
Right. So you're not mad at Bullhorn Betty for saying, this is.
No, because I've seen somebody do almost the same thing, walk away and don't have a fault. But it's like, you can't, my father used to say, you can't be in their shoes. I don't care if they're in shoes or barefooted. You do something you're supposed to do.
Right.
It's built into us to protect each other.
Yeah.
So
I don't get it. That I about fell over because one, the revelation of her being on the second floor. We were all bouncing around, whether they were on. We saw that September video, and we knew that one room was empty. All it had
down in the basement, the first floor.
Yeah. So we knew it was empty, and we kept saying, everybody kept saying they were both on the bottom floor. And, we were like, well, why did they hear anything? And come to find out, not only did she hear something going on that night, she actually saw the man walk past her and did absolutely nothing.
Yeah. I don't understand that.
That is just, that blows my mind. I think that blows all of our minds.
Him leaving her alive.
Yeah.
Somebody to tell his story.
Yeah, possibly. Or he just really wanted to be cut. I wonder if he was, check this out. I wonder if he was so high from the kill, because I believe this was a thrill kill for him.
Yeah.
There's only one other explanation, is that he was so high from the kill that he didn't even notice that she saw him, that she was there.
That's a good possibility, because if you're high on drugs, and his high on killing is the same as being high on drugs.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't have noticed her.
Yeah. And then one person says, if you see something, say something. We need to help each other in this world has gone mad. Yes. Protect one another. Absolutely.
Well, if we don't, nobody does. So you have to step up and protect each other.
Right. And not only that, but all these people seem to do everything right. What we're taught when we go out, be in a group, go to places,
Yeah. I mean, when you're home, even if you hear a noise outside, you have to be in the house. You call 911 if you're too scared to go check.
Yeah.
You could maybe your neighbor's house.
Yeah, I'm dumbfounded that she actually saw this guy in her home, watched him, looked at him eyeball to eyeball, and turned around and went in her room and shut her door.
Yeah. It blows my mind. I can't get over it.
Yeah, I agree.
But well, you keep up the good work, you and Olivia and the rest of you guys. I watch you every morning.
Aw, thank you.
Become a member soon.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate it. Just like, share, and subscribe. We love it. We love it.
And if you're ever up in the Maine area, stop, holler at me.
Oh, you got it. Well, crime happens everywhere, even in Maine.
We'll go get some lobster.
Oh, I love lobster.
And we even have some good stuff for Olivia. Some good sweets.
Good. Good. Yeah. Olivia is a sweet tooth. I'm telling you, every time I turn around, it's like, oh, look, why don't we stop and get some coffee and get some food? Why don't we stop? It's like, and then we go in there and she sees a treat and she's like, ooh, I want a cupcake. And it's like, no lunch? No, the cupcake will be fine. I'm like, oh, good Lord.
But all right, I will tell you what, you keep up the good work.
All right. Thank you, love. Call back again. Right. Bye-bye. What a sweet caller. What a sweet caller. In my opinion, they need to quit catering to dude's needs and should have left him without all the body armor. I agree. This is Betty. You'll have to turn me down in your background.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. Hey.
Hi, how you doing?
Good. So what do you think about all this madness? Who are you and where are you calling from?
I'm Janice and I'm calling from New York.
Oh, nice. So what do you think about this whole thing with Dylan opening her door, seeing the assailant, shutting the door, and going to sleep?
Let me tell you something, okay? She heard Kaylee say, right?
Mm-hmm.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Somebody's in the house, right?
Yeah.
She hears the
dog barking.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me that she didn't hear? I mean, when they're screaming, there's different types of screaming. You go to a baseball game, there's a home run, and you're like, ah, right? And then there's a scream of terror, of somebody physically hurting you. You can tell the different volumes of the screams, So she didn't hear the screams. Rather have with her phone.
Right.
These kids these days have the phone up their butts.
Right.
I carry my phone to the bathroom because, you never know. It's something that you just carry and you go here, you go there with the phone.
I will lose everything. I will lose
Yeah.
everything out. But the one thing I never lose track of is my phone. I can lose my vape pens. God knows how many vape pens I go through. God knows how many times I lose pens here, there, and everywhere. When I was smoking, I lost my lighters everywhere. But the one thing that I never, ever lost is my phone. And when my phone is in my wallet, 'cause I have one of those wallet phones carriers, I don't lose my wallet because my phone's attached to it. Like my phone is the one thing that no matter what always makes it back home with me.
Exactly. So I find that kind of weird. You hear Kaylee, somebody's in the house. You hear the dog. So you hear those two sounds. You don't hear the terror of your friend's screams.
Yeah.
Okay? Even if you were scared to open the door.
Yeah.
And you don't have your phone. Maybe the phone is in the kitchen, whatever. You have a laptop, right? You have iPads.
Yeah. You
right?
have a way to call.
So don't tell me you couldn't call.
Yeah.
Even if you were scared to open the door. But you could have, okay, she opened the door, she saw the assailant. She closed the door. He went out, she probably heard him go out the front door. Okay, you're scared, but what do you say? Scary, are you okay? Vanna, hey, Vanna, are you okay?
Right.
You okay?
Nothing. It didn't sound like she did any of it.
Sense. Yeah, exactly. What kind of friend is that? That's not a friend.
Mm-mm. And not only that, but just think about it. You see somebody in your first inclination. Okay, I get it. Your first inclination is to safety. Shut your door, lock your door. But you would think that you would be terrified enough, like, again, the last caller. What if they're going to come back and kill me? What if he turns around and saw me and comes back here and kicks in my door? You would think that Dylan, for her own safety, would have called 911, and she didn't. And that's what's bothering me. This doesn't make sense to me.
Exactly. She's not a 7-year-old. I mean, and you've heard stories about 5-year-olds, 7-year-olds, 10-year-olds calling the cops.
Yeah.
Calling 911. You're how old? 20, 21? You're in college and you don't know how to pick up a goddamn phone.
Right.
Call 911. You hear strange screams.
She heard,
Okay,
think about it. She heard the whimpering. She can't tell us she didn't hear the scream because she heard the light whimpering sound coming from down the hallway.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't make sense to me. You heard the whimpering. Whimpering is soft.
Yeah.
Right? Screaming because you're getting knives in your body is different. You should have been able to hear that. You heard the dog. You heard Kaylee. I don't understand. Are you trying to hide something? Are you in shock? I get it that you can be in shock. I mean, anybody could be in shock. But my first reaction is, where's my phone? 911.
Right.
Call.
And I went in shock. I had an experience that, so I have experience of shock. I have two experiences of shock. And one was when I was a young girl, about, between 12 and 14. We were in a terrible car wreck. My dad was driving. We were going to the movies, and a lady was trying to get her daughter to a recital and gunned it right at, it was Manatee Avenue and 43rd Street. Guns it to go through the red light. And my dad was proceeding because he had a green light and starts going out there. The whole engine of the car, like there was no car from the window forward. The whole engine, everything was missing off the car. Like she took the whole car. If they would have been just a few inches further, it would have killed both of my parents. That's how fast she was going. And I remember getting out of that car and I couldn't think. My body was just trembling so bad that my hands just shook. I mean, they were wildly shaking. And I couldn't think. I was, I was young. I was delusional. But people were calling it. This was pre everybody having cell phones. We had payphones at this time. And so everybody was calling law enforcement. We got law enforcement out there, but that was my first experience. And my second experience was with my dog. You know, I put my dog in the backyard. We had a big trailer, a dump trailer for, you know, we did tree trimming and other things. And it was an older trailer, so it has rust on it. And my dogs like to dig up underneath the trailer and lay up, you know, in the cool dirt covered. Well, it looked like Layla must have got up real quick, and she sliced herself on some of the. It was a tear, but it went to her like literally when we saw her injury, it was down to her bone. Like I freaked out. I literally freaked out. I'm holding my phone in my hand. And I can't even think of who I need to call. And I know I need to call the vet. And I just couldn't think of it. But, you know, even that shock, it seemed like it lasted forever. But it really only lasted about 5, maybe 10 minutes tops. But it seemed like eternity for those minutes. It just seemed like I was staring at a phone and my brain is completely blank. But again, you know, you snap out of it, and I snapped out of it, and then ended up calling the vet and getting my dog right in. It cost me almost $1,100 to get her stitched up and fixed. But you know, I understand that shock, but again, it wears off. It's not there forever. You know,
exactly. But how long did she wait? What till noon to call the cops?
Yeah, right around 11:58, and then they call it in as a unconscious person.
Oh my God! I would have given her an unconscious person right in the face.
Right.
I mean, really, these are your friends. Even if you didn't like them, you had to deal with them. You were tired of the partying, but you know what? It's called being a human being.
Yeah.
You help your fellow man. Okay, you're not going to sit there and just hear somebody crying, "Please help me, I'm dying, help." Really? I don't care if there's blood and gore. I don't care if there's guts on the ceiling. I'm going to go into the damn room.
Yeah.
And hold their hand.
And check on them.
Peace in their last breath.
Yeah, but just check on him. You heard whimpering. A man is walking down your hall and you didn't put like 1 + 1 didn't equal 2 for her. I don't understand that. And then they call 8 hours later. Those poor babies.
She probably even had a nice dream.
Yeah.
While your friends are dead in the next room.
Yeah.
That's not a friend. Okay, again, you know, people take shock differently. 8 after 8 hours. I'll give her an hour. Just to be nice. But really, then you have a nice dream. Then you call, 8 hours later, you're going to call the cops. And then you call the cops. Really, you have probably saved one of them.
Yeah.
Or even one of them that will probably pass later on, but give the family time to say goodbye and I love you.
Yeah. Yeah. And Tracy,
that's what a human being would do.
Yeah. And Tracy says Steve Gonzalez spoke and said they were terrorized. One passed out, one hyperventilated so bad she couldn't breathe, just like with JD and JS, which is Jack Decor and Jack Showalter. We need to trust Ellie, knows details, not to jump to conclusions yet. And I agree with you, Tracy. I agree with you 100%. We shouldn't jump to conclusions yet. However, they did release the probable cause affidavit, and it was pretty thorough. And that's
her word.
Yeah, and that's where I'm pulling this from. And while they're hyperventilating the day after, and I'm not disputing that they were probably highly upset, and my heart bleeds for them. But my problem here is how do you see a person, a guy dressed covered in black clothing and a mask, a face mask, walking in your house, and you don't bother calling law enforcement after you're hearing whimpering and hearing another one of your roommates upstairs? By the way, she was upstairs saying somebody's here. There's someone in the house.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a New Yorker, right? And I grew up in the Bronx, all right? I would have been scared shitless, but I would have said, what the hell are you doing here? What the hell, that would be my automatic reaction is, what the hell are you doing here? Who the hell are you? I don't care. That's just my New York upbringing.
Right.
And I'm also a daughter of a homicide police officer. So my father taught me well. My father taught my brother well. He schooled us very well. So, but you don't have to have a law enforcement in your family. It's called common sense.
Right.
You go to college, girlfriend. You're in college. Come on. Your parents never taught you Call 911 if something happens when you're a kid.
Yeah. We are all taught that. We are all taught that. And again, I'm not, I don't know if Dylan has anything to do with it. I have to think that she doesn't, but other than just being completely stupid. I mean, just a stupid and horrible decision.
I agree with you. I don't think she has anything to do with it, but what a dumbass.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I feel bad for her because I don't wish that fight on anyone.
Right. Exactly.
You're smart to go to college, but you're stupid in this aspect of it.
Yeah.
How are you going to ever have friends in the future if your friends can't depend on you?
Yeah. And not only that, but like Extremes just said, it had to be loud whimpering if a camera outside picked up on it. We heard in the report that there was a camera that picked up the whimpering after a loud thud. Like they even heard the thud and the dog barking, but nobody in the house did.
That's why I keep on saying she heard the dog, she heard the whimpering, she heard Kaylee say somebody's in the house. So if she heard all of that, and then she heard this horrific screaming, please stop, no, please don't hurt me, please stop. Really? Really? What did she think that was?
Yeah.
A horror movie? No, it was real life.
Yeah.
You can tell a horror movie on TV with a horror going on live in your own home.
Yeah.
So, and again, I'm not, everybody takes stress and situations like that differently, but it's called common sense.
Yeah.
Because you know what? Wouldn't you be afraid for your own life? Oh my God, she's going to come in. Let me call 911. Oh my God, really? So you're just going to stand there waiting for the guy to kill you too? I mean,
but that would be exactly why I would have called 911, just for the simple fact that seeing something like that and being eyeball to eyeball with something like that after hearing whimpering and somebody saying somebody's in the house, just out of terror for myself and my safety, I would have called just in an abundance of caution. Even if it was a prank, it would have stopped somebody from ever pranking like that again.
Yeah, it's just very hard and it's very sad, and my heart goes out to the families.
Yeah.
And it really would, even if she wasn't able to help, she would have been able to help in other ways.
Yeah.
All right. But she didn't. She dropped the ball.
Yeah.
Sorry. She dropped the ball.
Yeah. And it is upsetting. I think
for the rest of her life. She's going to be dreaming about this for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
This story, like every other homicidal killer out there, Ted Bundy, BK, whatever the hell.
BTK. Yeah.
You hear all of those people. Every time there's something like this happens, their names are always brought up. Oh yeah, remember the witness? Oh yeah, she didn't call nobody. She saw the killer right face to face.
Yeah, she's got to be living with that. Yeah, it's hard because now the flip side of that is she now has to also live with the fact that she might have been able to save at least one of them and she didn't, because again, Xana was obviously alive enough to be whimpering. Yeah. You know, she may have been able to save her life if she would have just picked up the damn phone and called 911. And, you know, of course, this is, hindsight's 20/20. This is the flip side. We don't know how many times people have been in their house in all black with ski masks. It is a college town. They've probably been pranked like that before.
Come on. You know the difference between a house party with screaming and yelling and, hey, hurrah. And you know the difference between something like those kids went through.
I agree.
Different tone, different vibe. Okay, so it's different. You know the difference, unless you're dumb. But you know the difference between those type of different noises and stuff like that. Oh, that's a house party. Okay, I'm gonna just shut the door and go to sleep. No, and you know the difference between somebody screaming and agony and begging, please don't hurt. You know the difference, and people don't play like that. And if you play like that, then you're an idiot.
Yeah. And not only that, but you got to think, the whole story is crazy. But I appreciate you calling in. Thank you for your perspective. It was great to chat with you. Please call back again.
Likewise. Yes, thank you. And God bless and have a wonderful day.
God bless you too. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
So Tracy says, I'm so upset too. Hold on just a second. This is Betty. Just hold on just a second. I'm going to read a comment. Whoever's on the phone, just sit tight with me. I'm too upset. It says, I'm upset too. This is what Tracy says. Thinking they could have been saved. I am just trying not to jump yet. her statement was hindsight. We don't know if she has severe PTSD and past trauma, etc. It's all horrifying. I agree with that too, Tracy. I really do. Hey, caller, it's Betty. What's your name and where are you calling from?
This is Missy from New York. I just wanted to say that I read somewhere, I don't know if it's accurate or not, that she suffers from severe PTSD from severe childhood trauma.
Okay.
And that she suffers night terrors and nightmares and wasn't sure what she saw was real or not.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know if she was just literally that scared hiding in her room and froze, and that's all it was. And it might be. I don't know.
Right.
That's what I read.
But, I mean, a lot of us, I think in here, a lot of us come to this channel because we ourselves have, issues. We have past trauma. We've talked about childhood trauma on this channel. We've talked about how it affects you in your adulthood. So many of us have that, in severe PTSD from some of the stuff that has gone on, like for me, if I see somebody walking up to me very angrily and it looks like I feel like they're going to hit me, I will, defend myself before it even happens. And that's part of my PTSD because I think when people walk up to me like that, they're going to try to assault me, especially a man. So, I have people, but would if a person was coming up, would it prevent me from calling 911? I'm still unclear about that. But if she's not sure at the time with what she was seeing was true or was real, that's a little concerning for me as well. Like, why is she in the house with 6 other girls if she's having visual, hallucinations? That's a little concerning.
Yeah, that's what I read. That's all.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just the whole thing is very sad.
It is very sad. I think that's what we miss. I'm angry at her because I feel that somebody could have been saved, but we don't know that to be true. But it's just the whole, not calling law enforcement. You've got somebody that's crazy in your house and you're hearing a roommate say somebody's here. You're hearing another one whimpering and you see this assailant walking in black clothing and a mask and you shut your door and don't even check on your friends to make sure everybody's okay. I just have a problem with that.
Yeah.
It's just sad.
Hard to say.
Yeah.
You don't know what you do. I think in that situation,
yeah,
depending on what she's been through,
Yeah. And not only that, again, I said this before, this is something she's going to live with the rest of her life. And if she's already got emotional issues and PTSD and childhood trauma, it's going to be worse after this, without a doubt.
Yeah.
So I pray for her. We should keep her in our prayers, but damn, I'm pissed. That's all I can say is, I feel bad for her, but man, I'm pissed. And I think everybody can understand that a little bit,
Yeah.
So
I was shocked when I heard you read it the first time, but
yeah,
I don't know. After reading that, it's like, oh, maybe she's been through something that was really, really bad.
Yeah.
But
listen to this. She didn't even respond back to when Kaylee's family was trying to reach out to her to find out what happened. And, it was that morning they were trying to see if the kids were alive. They were hearing from a cousin. They didn't even hear from law enforcement for hours. That Kaylee, they found out from their Kaylee's cousin. That's how the parents found out that it was severe. And, they were hoping that Maddie was still alive. And they got the news that both of them lost their life. And it just, and then they were calling Dylan to find out that morning if it was Kaylee or Maddie, who got hurt, are they, and she never even responded to them.
Crazy.
Yeah. It's just sad. And I have to think maybe at that point she probably felt guilty or something. She didn't want to talk to them. She was, scared that she was going to be, I don't know. I feel bad for her. It's sad. So
that was all.
All right. I appreciate it. Call back again and God bless.
Thank you. You too.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
I'm sorry. It's just insane. And, and I have to be a little nicer, with her, but I just keep thinking, what if, things do happen for a reason. I get that, but what if? This is Betty.
Hi, Betty. This is Sweet Faces. I'm a first-time caller. It's not really on topic.
Yeah.
But just something that I was thinking about. They said that the sleeve to the knife was found by Maddie's body.
Yeah.
And we had all been wondering who was the first. I would think that she would be the first, because once he got started, he's not going to think to pick up the sleeve to the knife to move to the next room.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we definitely knew that something was left behind because they jumped on that knife so quickly, and I didn't catch on to it until many weeks later. Wait a minute. They started looking for that knife before they even had the autopsy back to even tell them what kind of knife was used. And that's when it clicked for me.
But you would think if Zena and Zana and Ethan were first, the sleeve to the knife would have been found in their room and not the girls' room.
Good point. Good point. But he may have also remembered to pick it up and just forgot to pick it up on the last one. Maybe he started hearing.
And I thought about that too. But if he picked it up from Ethan and Xana's room, then I'm sure there would have been blood on it. And they didn't say anything about the blood, just the DNA on the buckle of it.
Yep. Yep. You're right. You're right. You're right. Yep. That is true.
All right, lady. Have a blessed day.
You too. God bless you. God bless you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so we're hearing that there's a lot of trolls in here. So let me go ahead and make some modifications on here. If you guys, if there's, this is Betty.
Hi, Betty. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing
good. Good. Good.
This is Susie from Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
And didn't we hear early on that there was a rift between Dylan and the others because of the partying?
It's possible. I do remember hearing something early on in the case that, there was a lot of partying in the house, and some people, after 4 months of it, the first semester, they're kind of over it. So yeah, there is the possibility of that. So yeah. I did hear something like that, but I never know what is true and what isn't true, if that makes sense, because of the way.
Oh, I get that.
Yeah.
And another thing, 5-year-olds know enough to call 911 when they see something that's not right.
Yeah.
And I mean, they see their mommy or daddy, something happening to them. They know enough to call 911.
Mm-hmm.
So
exactly. I don't understand. That's the one thing I just don't understand. You saw a crazy man in your house dressed in black from head to toe with a ski mask on. Somebody's whimpering. You hear another one of your roommates saying somebody's in the house, and nothing clicks in your brain to say, I mean, she had to have been terrified enough to go in her room and lock her door. So
exactly. And you can call 911 and not say anything. Just call 911 and hang up, and they will come.
Yeah.
Or call 911, stay on the line, don't say anything. They'll track your call. They'll come. And you don't have to say anything. So yeah. I don't understand why she didn't call 911.
Yeah, Roxy is saying, I waited 2 days on a couch in my sister's college rental with 4 or 5 other roommates. No one ever asked me who I was. They just came in and said hi and off to their rooms. I think it could happen. Wow.
It could,
yeah.
But if they're dressed in black with a mask across their nose and mouth,
yeah,
that would,
I don't think yeah, exactly. If she was sitting on the couch with the mask, I don't know if they would have been saying, hey, hi, and off to their room they went, So right. It's odd. I just don't get it. And I guess I probably will. I'm not in their position, nor have any of us ever been in their position. Maybe a few people in this channel might have. But if somebody has been in this position where they had a crazy person in their house and didn't call 911, I would like to hear from them just to find out why. What would cause that? I'm truly curious.
So here's another thought I have too. Brian thinks he's so smart. Did he spare her because if he got caught, she didn't call? She's she's my co-conspirator. She's my co-defendant. Is that why he spared her?
Yeah, I mean something, and then not only that, but people were eyeballing Dylan early on because of some of the weird stuff that she had on her, her social media, and then of course Quinn, her boyfriend, which looks like a punk. He's been out, kind of, poking people, going on people's stuff, always making comments and this, that, and the other, and it makes me wonder. Is there something there? Are they the link? I don't know. I just still, we did the whole, we had the trends. I think it was Crime Stories Obsessed did the trends search, Google Trends, and it showed that the two downstairs roommates actually had more searches days before this horrific act than any other person in that home. So did he know who was all in that home? Because I mean, he made 12 trips there. So there was a reason why he left those girls alive, and especially with one coming out of her room and seeing him. It seems like he would have wanted to take her out because she could have called the cops on him.
And not once, but 3 times.
Yeah.
Help me make that make sense.
Yeah, and you don't even bother going and checking on your friend.
Yeah, that don't make sense.
It doesn't. I'm curious to find out more information, but this definitely, this stuff paints Dylan in a negative light, just for the simple fact that, there was noises in that house, so much so that she opened the door 3 times. And by the 3rd time, she sees an assailant completely in black and a mask on, and she just goes into her room and goes to sleep. I that just blows my mind.
Well, the female instinct is nurturing, and you hear somebody crying, you go to them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it.
Right.
I just don't get it. It don't make sense.
Right.
Well, I don't want to keep you on the line because I know there's other people that want to call in, but I just want to tell you that I watch and listen to you and Molly and Dustin and Hauser Williams and Dolly. I don't miss Dolly.
Yeah,
and I got to go back. Now I got to go back to working 12-hour shifts from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. So I'm going to be missing a little bit here.
Oh, that
I've
sucks.
had COVID, so I've been off for a while.
Well, God bless you.
Have a great day. Thank you.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
This is Betty.
Hey, Betty.
Hey.
Ricky Beavers, honey.
Hey, Ricky. I saw your message yesterday, so I thought I'd put the number out there. I'd say the number.
Right. Hey, I'm listening to everybody, but I can't help but wonder. I mean, and I know this, I wish I could replay it, and I was there, and I could see, and I was there, and I opened the door, and I seen that person that had a gun, made him get down, and held him under the cop there. I know that sounds far-fetched, but I was thinking out of my head, God, I wish somebody would have been there and could have done that.
Right.
But here's what I'm thinking. This is what I feel. What if this girl knew this guy? Because if she's seen him, come on, let's look. If I know he had a mask on, but if somebody seen me, I'd have to go back and kill her because she's seen kind of, even though I had a mask on, whatever, she's seen me.
Yeah.
So that puts up a red flag for me.
Yeah. And I have to agree, Love My Life is saying that, Dylan needs to come out and talk. And I have to agree. I know law enforcement's not going to let her or probably has her, asked her not to say anything to anybody. But damn, she didn't even respond to the family when they were asking that morning, begging to find out anything they could about their daughter. And she doesn't even bother responding to them.
All right. Now, I was listening to you, but somebody came in when you was reading about yesterday. She said that he was 5'9", 5'10".
Yeah, 5'10". It was in the report. About 180, 185 pounds.
Okay. Well, Brian, from what I heard, this guy Brian they got now is 6'4".
No, that's what originally that's what we thought with him sitting next to the officers, but even on his booking, they said he's 5'11" and 185 pounds.
Oh, okay. Well, good. I'm glad you cleared that up.
Yeah.
Now, when I heard you yesterday, I want to make sure I heard this right. She opened the door 3 times, and the third time she opened the door, she looked down the hall, and he was coming towards her.
Yeah.
Is that right?
That's right.
Okay.
And he was walking toward the back sliding glass door.
Towards her, where she was, towards her, right?
Yep.
Okay, when she had the door open, did he walk past her? Because I didn't get to listen to the rest of it. Somebody came in.
Yeah, let me read that. Hold on a second. Let me see what it says. So it says, hold on here. Let me go back. DM originally, let's see. DM stated she looked out her bedroom and didn't see anything when she heard comments about someone being in the house. So DM stated she opened the door a second time when she heard what she thought was crying coming from Xana's room. Dylan then said she heard a male's voice saying something to the effect of, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." At approximately 4:17, a security camera picked up, the dog, the loud thud, and the whimper. And the dog was barking about 4:17 a.m. DM, Dylan Mortensen, stated she opened her door for a third time after she heard the crying and saw a figure clad in black clothing and a mask that covered the person's mouth and nose, walking toward her. And she described the figure as 5'10", taller male, not very muscular, but athletically built with bushy eyebrows. The male walked past Dylan as she stood frozen. The male walked toward the back sliding glass door, and Dylan locked herself in her room.
Okay, all right. Now, I don't, the ski mask, does that cover his, like he covered his nose, his mouth, and all around his face and just his eyes?
Yeah, it sounds like he had one of those masks that just had the eyes in it. That nothing, it didn't have the opening for the mouth. It was just the eyes.
Now, well, okay, he walked past her, Betty. Now, come on now. She's seen him, he's seen her.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Don't you think he would have killed her too on the way out?
That is what I'm saying. It's like, what is going on here? She
don't add up.
He walked right past her, didn't kill her. She's hearing whimpering. She's hearing people say there's somebody in the house. She's hearing a male voice saying, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." And I know what that meant. That meant that the person was still alive and he was going to, unalive them. And that was what that statement was. And she was just frozen. I want to know, Quinn says he's never been at this house ever. And I still am curious as to whether he was there or not, because this is just odd for me. It doesn't make sense. Make it make sense.
That does not make no sense to me at all.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I did something like that and I seen another girl standing there and I was leaving the house and she seen me, even though she didn't see my face or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she could tell my height and how much I weighed and all that. And you might think that sounds crazy, but that's a kind of a lead too. Let's make the point.
Yeah.
I would have to take her out too.
Right.
So that questions me. Did this girl know this guy? I mean, I'm sorry, but and that's in my mind. Did she know him? Something don't sound, like I say, it don't sound right.
No, it doesn't.
That is my feel on that.
Mm-hmm.
And then another thing kind of bothers me too, which Brian's dad flew all the way in here, rode back with him to Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
So the dad had to be suspicious. Well, we got that Hyundai Alonso car too.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wonder if Brian told his dad that he did it,
Right.
And I sent you that clip, which you already had it, where they got pulled over in Indiana and they got pulled over twice.
Mm-hmm.
I sent you that because I didn't know if you got it or not. Because when I find something that I think that might be important to you, I don't know if you know it or not. So I do try to share things with you as I come across it too.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now, wasn't there another girl there too named Beth or something?
Yeah, Bethany Funk was there, but she was truly on the first floor. Everybody else was on the second and third floors.
It tripped me out, and I heard you read the squirrels on the second, that Dylan was on the second floor, too.
Yeah, my mouth fell open. I didn't, because I was reading it. We were reading it on live. Yeah, I was reading it live yesterday for the first time. So I'm sure the audience was just as shocked as me as I was reading that statement, because I stopped and I'm like, holy crap, she was on the second floor. And I'm just like, now it truly doesn't make sense.
Right. Now, Brian thinks they're going to let him. Brian thinks he can get out of that.
Yeah.
I know he does, because he willingly came back. He didn't put a fight. He willingly came back to Idaho.
Yeah, but most of them do, because it doesn't really do any good to fight extradition. You're going to be extradited. It's just you're going to stay in Pennsylvania. You're going to stay in a jail one way or another. So, you know, a lot of people don't fight the extradition because it just makes things a lot worse on them.
Right. Okay. But no, Betty, I'm glad you answered my call, and God bless you. You're doing a great job, and I follow you. I listen. Sometimes I just listen. I don't tell you I'm in the room, but a lot of times I'm in the room.
Aw, well, thank you, Bricky. God bless you. And let me get on to this next caller.
Okay, and I want everybody to, go out and like. And hey, Betty, too, could you check with that guy and see if he received that song? Is there any way you can get with him?
Yeah, I'll check on that today.
And God bless you, honey.
God bless you, too.
Stay safe.
Uh-huh.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So I had somebody calling in from 813 right in my own backyard. If you want to call back in, call back in. Oh, now we got another caller. This is you didn't have to hang up. This is Betty.
Hey, Betty, it's Paula.
Hi, Paula. How are you, my love?
Oh, I'm trying to turn you down here.
Gotcha.
There we go. Yeah, I'm going to throw a wrench into all this.
Okay.
Okay. From the get-go, the police, I'm not going to say lied. I'm going to say they weren't forthright with us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What if she did call 911 and they're withholding that?
I don't know if they can, because that was an affidavit under oath. When they make those affidavit, they have to do that under penalty of perjury in a court of law. Now, there could be some things that were redacted out of the report that is not given to us. That would be possible, but I guarantee, because there is a full page that's completely blank in the report, but there is a possibility. Let me look at the report real quick. Where is it? That's the question. Hold on just a second.
Okay.
Let me find it. Here it is. So let me just make sure all the pages are here. So we've got page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And yes, he declared under penalty of perjury. So it does, and I don't see any redactions made in here at all in this affidavit. So it looks like this is the full affidavit that we have in our possession.
Okay, but it doesn't, like the affidavit doesn't tell you everything, does it?
Yeah, they have to put everything in there. Now they can supplement it, and they can explain to the court that they need to add some information that they omitted by error. But to me, when you're dealing with the courts, they don't like that. That could be a gold mine for the defense. So I have to think that this was the full affidavit and it was just of Payne, of the lead detective Payne. There's other affidavits from other agents that were working on this case that are going to be a part of this case file. We only have one affidavit of just his interaction with the people in the house.
Okay, so if she did make a 911 call that early in the morning, it would be in that affidavit?
It would have been in that affidavit. Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then people are saying about, these are just scenarios in my head I'm thinking, because she's saying that she heard, it's okay, I'll help you.
Yeah, that freaked me. And when I read that, I already immediately imagined how that was being said and what he was doing at the time when he said it. And it just makes me sick to my stomach.
Okay, what if I'm the what if?
Mhm.
Because she ordered Grubhub or something like that at 4:00 in the morning.
Yeah,
What
Xana
what-
ordered a Grubhub, and they didn't. They in the affidavit they didn't allege that he dropped it off, but they did speak to him. So I'm assuming that he did drop it off because he actually called in himself to tell them about his delivery.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, what if that was the driver and she ordered a bunch of food and he said, "Oh, don't worry, I'm going to help you."
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
to carry it in or something.
Yeah,
And then-
it's possible, but it doesn't seem probable because you know those delivery drivers, they never come into the house.
Yeah, pretty college girl, you don't know.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Yeah. And then another thing, they say how she opened the door 3 times.
Yeah.
And then the 3rd time she saw him coming toward her.
Yeah, walked right past her, she says. As
Maybe
she stood there frozen.
Maybe it wasn't like a wide open door. Maybe she just opened it and peeked out. And, he just murdered 4 people.
Yeah.
He wanted to get up and out of there. Maybe he didn't notice if she was just like, because if I hear something, I'm not going to swing my door open. I'm going to open it a little bit and try to peek out.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's possible. Maybe, and I have to think that he probably didn't see her. Maybe he was high from the kill. He didn't see her because I can't see him leaving a witness behind that could immediately be calling 911 as he's trying to flee. It just seems to me that, and again, it comes back to it. Like, what if she would have called 911 then? Like, they would have had him. They would have been able to hopefully help one of them, save one of their lives. Like, it's hard. It's hard. I don't like, I don't want it to be perceived as blaming her, but damn, like you had an opportunity to like, this was the make or break moment. And it's just sad. And if she's already struggling with childhood trauma and PTSD, I can't even imagine how effed up she is right now.
Yeah. And then the other thing was, I just went blank. Oh, I went blank.
Mm-hmm.
And what I was going to say was a good thing too, and I can't remember.
Yeah. Well, call back, Paula. Call back when you think of it.
All righty.
All right,
Thanks,
honey.
Betty.
Well, I
Have a
love
good
you.
one.
God bless you, and have a great
Love
day.
you too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, and it's sad because, it's hard. I have to be honest with you. I don't want to blame Dylan. That's not my point. It just angers me. This whole coming out and hearing this really just angers me. This is Betty.
Hello, Betty.
Hey, who's this and where are you calling from?
This is Jenny. I'm calling from Tampa. How are you?
Oh, you're right in my backyard. I'm doing well.
I was calling. There was a couple things that I was questioning.
Mm-hmm.
Her opening the door. I don't think she opened that door fully.
Yeah, that does make sense. Yeah.
If the camera across the way from Xana's room recorded the dog barking, recorded a woman's voice crying, recorded, yelling, how in the world were they able to not hear that inside the house?
Right.
I think she was scared and probably just peeped through that door.
Yeah, that makes sense that she would have done that, but still hearing all these things. I mean, she was very clear. She heard, she stated to the police, she heard Kaylee say there's somebody in the house. She heard whimpering. She heard a male's voice say, "It's okay, I'll help you." And then she sees an assailant walking down the road, walking toward her in all black. And it just angers me that she didn't even think past that to pick up the phone and say something is seriously not right here. Law enforcement needs to come here. If nothing more, just to check.
I was wondering if they left something out of that affidavit because I just don't understand that whole something. Because in the beginning, when they reported all this, everything was different from what it is right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just crazy. And then him coming back around 9, I don't think he came back to get that what is that? The knife, the container for the knife. I think he came back because he's so vain. It wasn't on the news.
Yeah,
And
he wanted to see if there was
going on.
any crime scene tape. You know what is crazy is that somebody saw the front door open, wide open, at 8:30, 9 o'clock. What if he listen to this? And it freaks me out. And I'm just thinking as we're talking. What if he did go back to that house? What if he opened that door? What if he walked into that house and looked at his work again while the other two roommates were still asleep?
That wouldn't shock me. He seems to be that type of person.
Yes.
That wouldn't shock me at all.
And he was probably shocked that nobody was there. He probably went into the house to make sure they were still, there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's sad, and I can't imagine how those parents now that when I found out they were alive with all this going on, and it wasn't like they reported it, I can't imagine how those parents feel.
Oh my God. Can you, I'm sure I would have to think that the parents have to be pissed, because if this was my kid and I found out that one of the roommates not only heard all this stuff going on in the house, but also saw a black figure fully clothed in black and a ski mask on that only showed his eyeballs. I don't know. I would be pissed off at a parent. And be asking the questions on why didn't you call law enforcement?
Mm-hmm. And then like I see a lot of people saying, well, you don't know how you would react, but I think it depends on what type of person you are, because I know in my house, we've had instances here with people just being outside. We're outside with bats if we don't know who's in our front yard, and if you're knocking on my door and we don't know who you are, you're getting the whole house answering the door.
Right.
Right. So I just think it depends on what type of person you are, how you're going to react to it. I mean, she might have not been an aggressive person, but there's no way that if I heard my friend screaming, I'd be going up there with a bat, finding something, a frying pan.
Yeah, but you would think that you would just be naturally curious to see if this person is out of the house and make sure the whole entire house is locked up. Like, that would be, even if I wasn't calling law enforcement or I thought it was a prank, I would still go check, open the door and make sure he left, or be listening at the door to make sure he walked out of the house. And then I would be probably going around the house to check on everybody and say, hey, I just saw some dude with a freaking ski mask. Is everybody okay? And when you didn't hear anybody, you opened the door and she would have walked into this gruesome scene, and she would have known that something bad, terribly bad happened, and called law enforcement. She didn't do any of that. She went to bed. Like, how do you go to bed after seeing a guy in black and a ski mask walking down your hallway?
Right. And then one thing I wanted to ask you, because I missed this. When he was driving with his dad home, now his dad brought up the shooting. Did that shooting happen that day, or was that a month prior?
I don't know, but I know that there was a SWAT situation there that he was talking about, but I don't, and that might have been a lie that he told his father as well, because I really didn't hear about this SWAT situation when we were out there. And think about it, if we heard a SWAT situation going on out there, we would have probably went straight over to that area where the SWAT was, where they were doing the swatting or whatever it's called,
Yeah, I thought that. I said, Betty didn't say nothing about that when she had her I said, what, did I miss something?
Right.
So then I started, and then I'm sitting here like his parents. Now, I'm a parent. I have a son. I have a daughter. Now, you know your children.
Yeah.
And you may not want to believe your children did something, but you knew what kind of car he had. This was all over the news. I can't imagine knowing how he was, that didn't cross their mind that it might have been their own kid.
Right. Especially with his behavior previously. I mean, parents know their children better than anybody. Like, even Leilani's mom, came out and said, I want to believe my daughter, but I believe she had something to do with this. Like, even her mom came out that very first interview when the camera was on and the microphone was stuck up to her face. That's what she said when she realized her grandson was missing. And so parents know.
Yeah, it just baffled me that the way they say, and I'm thinking, if that was my son and my son did something like that, I'd be the first one putting him in the chair. I probably would have, he wouldn't have got that far, but I probably would have done it before. But I just can't imagine. I don't understand that. How you don't know your son well enough to know if that was him or not. Because I would have known he had that car. I would have called him and asked, what are you doing? Where are you, what's going on? And then I would have called law enforcement myself on my own. But that's me because of what happened.
Right.
That, I just don't understand that.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, that's all I wanted to say.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Jen. You take care.
Oh, and next time you're at the airport, look for me.
Okay, I will. God bless you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So Robert's girl says he was dressed in black. How could she see the blood, in my opinion, and then wait 8 hours before? Didn't even think she's involved, but dang, 8 hours. That's my thing about that. This is Betty.
Hi, it's Aaron.
Who's this?
How are you?
Oh, hey, I know who this is. I recognize the voice. Hey, honey.
Guys, up till 5 in the morning, so I just caught your live now.
Aw.
You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
I can hear beeping in. Yeah, it was a little crazy on this story. I was watching Dolly all night, so took me 35 calls, but I got into him.
Aw.
Yeah, very confusing about the situation. I just look at it, I don't know, I find it weird because to me, if I don't know, it's strange. Yeah, I mean, obviously you know a lot more that's going on than I do, but
right.
I'm just thinking like the 3 times she opened the door, and being a college place and everything else, people coming in and out, and the DoorDash, grub they call it, I guess, coming to deliver. I wonder if she just thought it was something like that, and it doesn't say like screams or anything. It says like a cry. So I'm wondering if she thought maybe her and the boyfriend were having a fight and didn't want to get involved.
Yeah, that could be because she did say it was whimpering, but even the outside camera on the adjacent property picked up the whimpering. Like it must have been pretty loud for.
Yeah, I did hear that. Yeah.
And it's
very, very confusing.
And it breaks my heart because we were hearing that they it was quick. It was quick. It doesn't sound like it was quick, at least for Xana, and that breaks my heart.
No, I'm figuring now with the way this came out that they had to gone to third floor first, I guess. Maybe not, but and then he, when he was leaving, whether he seen it or not, he just said, "Hey, I better get out of here because the cops coming on the way because he had the other two he had to fight." You know what I mean? Because he also not just her alive, he left the other one alive too, But I don't know, I was just one thing that bothered me the most because even if she didn't call help for the friend, you think she would have been terrified for her own life, would have called for her own life, you know what I mean? Being scared for herself. Kind of strange. I think maybe gonna more come out on that one, I don't know.
Yeah, and Miss Potty Mouth says, "I'm sorry, but if you don't come out of the room or know anyone is hurt, dead, how can you be so bloody and traumatized not to call 911 over 8 hours?" His study could have given someone the opportunity for revenge. I mean, like he could have came back and, I just don't get it. Like she's lucky to be alive. I'm glad that there's 2 people in that house that did survive this horrible attack, and were untouched and apparently unscathed. But it's just hard for me that she obviously knew something was going on so much so that she got out of bed 3 different times. And it's just, I don't know, out of an abundance of caution, I would have called the cops.
What I find weird is you didn't get up and go lock any doors after you.
Right.
Kind of strange. But I also think with the father and the son there with the car, because a lot of people are saying that he never took off, hit the car, took off the car. But didn't the car get come public like December 7th? That they were looking for that car?
Yeah, they were looking. I can't remember when they started talking about the white Elantra. I think it was I want to say at the very end, or maybe even the beginning of December. It was either the end of
Yeah, I
November.
thought it was December 7th. And if you think of it, the father was on a plane and there within a week.
Yeah.
So I'm like, the excuses to drive back with him. But I mean, why not just send the kid a ticket? That's if he was going home for the holidays, whatever they want to say.
Yeah.
Send him a ticket and say, I'm sending you a ticket. Come back. You had to pay for his ticket, and then pay for all that gas and all the
Right.
travel
It didn't
back.
make
I think
sense because even if he was trying to get that car out of there, out of the
Yeah,
area.
exactly. That's what I told Don last night. He came back to get that son because he's hearing about the car and all this.
Mhm.
And when you think of the car, they I think it was December 7th, the day they reported it to the public
Mhm.
that they were looking for that. So you figure if they were on the road by the 15th, the father had to make plane reservations, get down there, and got his son. I mean, it would have been cheaper for him to send the son a ticket, say, "Hey, come home." But he wouldn't dare to purposely get that car back out of state. That's what I believe.
Right.
But it's just a crazy story. I mean, that's blowing everybody's mind with the girl.
Yeah. But you know what?
And like,
This is, and again, we didn't, um, you know, we didn't know that she saw him. And now, and it was, I have to be honest with you. When I was reading it yesterday, I was in complete and utter shock. Like, not only
yeah,
did she see him, but she was on the second floor. How could
I
she not
know.
know anything? And she didn't even check on anybody until the fall. It's awful. It's just it just seems like the story goes from bad to worse, now that we're hearing this, and to know that,
Yeah.
it just,
I wonder if they left anything on, they say he threatened her.
right.
I
Well, it
don't
didn't
know.
sound like he threatened her. It sounded like he just walked right past her.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if he's seen her and she just seen him. I don't know, but the only thing the good thing about it is, I mean, she didn't save their life, and the other girl didn't die neither. But she's also an eyewitness, which brings the timeline together. Helps with the timeline.
And you know what? I wonder. Did he say? They said he wore a mask. Let's go back to that because somebody just brought up. Mary Martins just brought up. Did he wear a regular mask or not? And it says here. I'm trying to read this stuff here, but it appears
it just covered his nose and his mouth. So I'm wondering.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if it was just a regular,
That's what I'm thinking.
cloth
Because with him being
mask.
in what he was in, they probably wore a lot of that stuff. He has access to a lot of that. I mean, everyone has access to that stuff now anyway, but I think he might have just put the regular COVID type mask on.
Yeah, so black
You know what I mean?
clothing
It wasn't
and
like
it doesn't even
wasn't
say.
like a
I was
pullover
thinking
mask.
I was thinking a ski mask, but now that Mary brought that up, I'm rereading this and it sounds like it could have just been a normal mask. It says DM stated she opened her door for a third time after she heard the crying and saw a figure clad in black clothing and a mask that covered the person's nose and mouth walking toward her.
Yeah.
So it could very well be a normal regular, COVID style mask that he was wearing.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Especially doing the stuff that he did. But I mean, Avi wasn't as smart as everyone's saying he was.
Right.
I mean, to go into someone's house and do that, knowing all the mess he was gonna leave behind, he had to know he had to leave stuff behind. I'm just hoping, she's obviously a key witness. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she is a key witness,
I'm
and
hoping they find some of the clothing that she said that he was wearing. Which will help a lot.
yeah,
But it is a little boggling. You know what I mean? Because I to me personally, I hear one little thing if I'm thinking of anything like that. I call 911 right away, and I just don't understand why she wasn't in fear for her life to get up and go lock doors and go get the other friend downstairs and have her come up and check with them. I don't know.
Yeah,
but I guess this is college students we're talking about. They say it's a party house, blah blah blah. Maybe she just. I think the thing when she heard Kaylee say someone was here, if that's who Kaylee was when she was talking about. And maybe, I think they said she looked out the window. She didn't open the door, right? Maybe she thought that was the guy delivering food.
Yeah,
I
I don't know. I think Yeah, maybe he wasn't in a ski
Obviously, they're
mask.
holding him
Maybe
off
he
that
was in a
quick.
regular mask, and maybe that's why she didn't think anything about him. But she
Yeah.
had to have known. And not only that, but she didn't describe the color of his hair. So that's what I think the reason why I automatically assumed that it was a ski mask with just eye holes in it that covered his nose and
Yeah.
mouth, because I didn't, when she described him, she never said anything about the color of his hair. And you would think that
Well,
she
should have had a hoodie on, like
that
kind of
is
a
true.
sweatshirt type thing.
That is true.
Yeah,
Yep.
because obviously with him being in the field that he's in, he would have wanted either a hat or something to cut. I would imagine more a hat, but to keep his hairs, for anyone grabbing his hairs or anything. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, at least it seems like the two girls might have went quick upstairs, but definitely not the other two. And I think that's why he got out of there pretty quick, because they said he sped out of there. You think he would have wanted to leave more quietly in his car and not fly out the way he did. But it's just one that it's like a horror show type of it's like a horror movie.
Right. Right.
We'll find out. I guess it'll be a long time, but I don't understand that part neither. And I mean, I could see he was scared or whatever. An hour or so. Okay, he's gonna be gone, but that much time that's what's confusing about it.
Yeah, just the amount of time to call 911, and the fact that you saw this and you heard weird things and didn't check on your roommates. And it's just one of those things where if you have a gut feeling, maybe she did everything right. Maybe if she would have came out, he would have came back and she would be dead. Yeah.
I think it would have been not the boyfriend girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she would have, but a lot of times there's a boyfriend girlfriend or whatever couple, people don't like to get involved in it. She might thought it was just something with that,
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, a dog barking. This poor dog over here in my house. And how many times a dog barks and you tell them to shut up and you don't get to go and see what they're barking at,
Right. Right.
I don't find the dog thing all that weird, especially when she said she thought Kelly was playing with her,
Right.
I don't know. We're talking about young kids here, so they think different than us. But who knows? I guess it will come out. But I feel horrible that hearing you just say that, not answering the parents' phone call. That was kind of a little weird.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of
hear that call. Wasn't it a friend?
No, she called. They tried calling her boyfriend, Jack Decor. She tried calling him like 8 or 9 or 10 times the night, and we didn't understand why at first, because many people were passing around that he wasn't in town. Well, he was over at the corner club with them.
Yeah, I seen that. So maybe they would call and see if it was him.
Yeah.
Maybe they had, I don't know, very confusing. But it seems like the two girls at least were dead and hopefully asleep,
Yeah. Yep.
I just wanted to let you know too, I don't keep telling Dolly just told me last night, Jimmy, I don't know if you heard her saying that Leilani's things got changed to the 13th, but I said, I don't know, I'll have to ask.
Oh shit! If it changed to the 13th, my reservations, I didn't even change. I knew it was coming up.
February, but I'm confused because I know that it's just the 13th one that came up, and it's a different court. Like I think you're the one that even said that. Superior Court or something.
Yeah, I'm looking it up now.
Whatever. But the first one on the 11th was supposed to be a bond hearing. Remember? And the other one, it says a status check. So I wonder if there's still two different ones. I'm not sure. But according to Brett, he said it got canceled. It got moved up to a different court, and it's on the 13th. So
okay, let me go in here. Shit. Okay, hold on here. Let me go into my Expedia. And it's February 13th or January still?
No, it's February 13th.
Oh fuck! So, excuse my language. So
yeah, I was.
If I can't change my reservations, I'll still come up and visit.
Oh, good. Well, like I said, it said status check. That's not a bond hearing.
No,
totally
it's just a
different.
case.
That's to see where your progress is going.
Yeah, that's really all it is.
Where you're going. And she hasn't had another bond hearing,
Mm-hmm.
The first court she went to, they're not even allowed to do that. You got to go to a different, it's a different judge. He said that, he's not even allowed to give bond if he wanted to.
Right.
So it doesn't say nothing about being a bond hearing. The other one says a status check. So I'm wondering if they're confused over that, or so I don't know. It might, I'm just thinking maybe the 11th is the bond hearing, and they already got another date for the next thing,
Yeah.
But I don't know. So I figured maybe you'd be able to find that out. The other one,
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now. Because I was planning on coming back. Let's see here. State of Georgia. Looks like she's got 2 separate cases here.
Well, that's what I'm trying to explain to Jimmy. And he's like, no, I don't see that. And so I know I've seen it. I've seen it on, I follow Brett on Twitter.
Yeah.
And I did see it. And I'm like, well, yeah, the 11th was supposed to be a bond hearing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would assume, she's going to want to try and go for the bond hearing unless they just told her, hey, forget it.
Yeah, it looks like the hearing was changed to February 13th. So let me go over to Expedia and see if I can change my trips. Let me see if I can change these. That was past. I want to see all my current stuff. Okay, hold on. All right, Karen, let me run and grab this other line. They're calling in from out of the country.
Yeah, let me know if you find out, because like I said, the 11th was supposed to be a bond hearing, so I'm kind of confused if there's still 2 different ones.
All right, hon. I'll give you a call when I get out of here.
Okay, thank you very much.
Bye-bye. This is Betty.
Hi, Betty.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. I'm Sandra calling from Australia.
Oh, nice to see you. Yeah, I saw that you were calling in from out of the country, so I wanted to make sure that I got...
Yeah, I've been trying to get the codes right, but I'm finally here.
Yeah.
I just wanted to share my story. I worked in juvenile justice in Australia for 18 years.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a girl that murdered a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very devastating at the time. And what can I say? Once the crime was committed, I had all the kids around me, and they were all shocked and everything else. What my bottom line of all this is people judging and not understanding what the victims are going through.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't even part of either side, but when I walked out and left work, I bawled my eyes out, and it was traumatizing for me. So I can understand what parents of either side are going through.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know how to explain.
Let me ask you this. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, ask me any question. Okay. I'm just trying to get...
Yeah, and I understand your position too, but what do you think about... why do you think that it was possible that, Dylan didn't call? I think that's what's confusing and stumping me. Like, you have all these things going on, and boom, it's... you find out that she actually saw this guy and never called law enforcement. I can't imagine what the families of the victims are going through hearing these details.
I'm questioning that too, but I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt because I work in juvenile justice.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we all make mistakes in our years. Like, we all party, we all go out, we do things. We don't wisen up till we experience bad things in life, right? Mm-hmm. I personally don't believe she had any part of it. She was like, she could be on drugs or alcohol or anything like that, and none of us necessarily do everything right in life, yeah? Mm-hmm. So I'm not even questioning her. But, I do question it, but, like, oh God, it's such a difficult situation.
It is, yes.
It's setting me up. yeah, and like I feel bad for her. I really do, and I hope it all comes out to the surface one day. I just want to share my experience that I lived in, like, I worked in juvenile justice in Australia for 18 years, and we had a girl that murdered a teacher that when I walked into work, all these kids clinged on to me, and they were describing how the knife went in the back of the teacher, and it sounded like a branch breaking on his back. And, I was traumatized. They were traumatized. So I'm trying to be open about the whole situation. And you don't know, I mean, even me with not being involved with any of it, it took me into a psychological area where I was lost. I was numb. I didn't know what was going on. The media was around me. And you just get lost into this twilight, you know? And that's why I don't want to judge anybody, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
It is a very psychological brain that you just don't know where your brain's going to go.
Yeah.
And even though it wasn't my child or the teacher I didn't even meet, my psychological being took me to an extreme what I never ever imagined it would take me to in my life. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And I want people to understand that. I'm not defending or, I'm not taking sides of anything. Brain is so touchy that when something traumatizing happens, the brain can go anywhere, and we never know where it's going to go. It is that touchy. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And until today, I'm still thinking about that day. I still have moments I think about. You know what I mean? That teacher I never met, he's dead. His parents never wanted to know anyone in the juvenile justice system. I don't blame them, and his parents, I wasn't even a parent, and I was like crying for days, like it was one of my child that did the offence. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
His parents, I can't imagine. Like, it's something that you just can't grip. I mean, like, my husband can go to a Christmas party 3 years ago and take a line of cocaine, hypothetically. His parents wouldn't even imagine that his son would do that. Their son would do that. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
How can any parent imagine their child murder 4 kids? Oh, my God. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
I live in a secret just because my husband took a line of cocaine 4 years ago. His parents going to know about that. Do you know what I'm trying- I know.
Psychological stuff and not
Like,
knowing
how
what your kids
can
are doing, that
any
is...
parent,
Yeah.
how can any parent imagine their child doing that?
Right.
It's such a difficult situation.
It is.
And it's so traumatizing for everyone. I just pray, even the girl that was there, and look, it's traumatizing. Everything is so traumatizing. Please don't judge her. We're all young. We were all young. We all fuck up in life. We all do things. Obviously, she's not targeted, but please don't judge her. She's still a kid.
Yeah, she is.
Still a
But
kid.
it
all
was
make
in the
mistakes.
statement, and it was very a shocking revelation for me.
I can understand why people are questioning it. It is really weird. But people need to take themselves back into their younghood. We all fuck up. We all make mistakes. We do crazy things. Please don't judge her. Just, I just pray for them all. Like, it's
Yeah.
such a difficult situation.
It is, and I do pray
I don't
for
want
her.
her
And
being judged.
yeah, I do pray for her, and
I
I know
don't
that
want
this
her
is going to
being
be
judged.
something she's going
All I
to.
know in my heart, she's
Yeah.
not a killer. She didn't do any of this. She's just a kid, didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
And things panned out the way it did.
Mm-hmm.
And she's a kid. She didn't know. She could have been under the influence of a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
She could have been so traumatized. You don't know what to do at a certain situation.
Yeah, but
You
to
know,
go.
as staff who work in juvenile justice, shit was happening, and we all sit there and go, what the fuck do we do? You know, as adults, educated people, we have to sit there and talk to each other to
Right.
figure out what to do. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. I do. I understand. I understand that side of it.
You know, even professional people need to sit there and go, whoa, we all need to talk about this. What do we do?
Yeah.
Because we don't live it every day. We don't experience it every day. It's not our daily lifestyle. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, but I still think the cops should have been called. Like, you got a masked man in black walking down your hallway and you have no idea who he is. And he looks crazy.
I know. We could all say should.
Yeah.
But
And I'm sure she's going through the woulda,
20-year-old
shoulda, couldas
kid.
too.
We all need to put ourselves into her situations and her situation. The thing is, we don't all live it every day.
Mm-hmm.
We don't experience this every day. You know what I mean? Like, we hear about it, but we don't live it. We don't know.
Yeah, but I'm still questioning because, you know, like 4 people were brutally stabbed in there. There was obviously a dog barking.
How can one person do this?
Yeah.
How can one person do this? It boggles me.
It does. It's scary. It's scary that
it's mind blowing.
Yeah, that one person could do this, you know, but we hear about BTK, you know, all the people he killed.
Time frame.
I think he wanted to be bigger because, you know, BTK killed, if I'm not mistaken, 1 person at a time. This guy went in this house and killed 4. It was almost like
I still can't grip the fact that he did 4 in a certain amount of time.
Yeah. And to think how quick and easy it was to do that now that we're coming out. You know, he was in and out of that house in 20 minutes or less. That's scary.
Exactly. That's the part that boggles me.
Yeah.
How ruthless, how evil.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I don't want to judge, but I hope it gets revealed more so everyone's prayers and everything gets answered. It is so mind-boggling.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to share my story.
I appreciate it. And thank you so much for calling all the way from Australia.
I was just a youth worker working in a juvenile detention centre, and I just want to share with you how I felt after a kid murdered a teacher. I walked away at work and went to a bar and drank and bawled my eyes out for hours and hours.
Mm-hmm.
And it was death. It was death to me.
Yeah.
It was death that it wasn't even my child. The teacher wasn't even my relation, but the feeling of that was death.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't even imagine how his parents are feeling.
Right.
You know, like, it's death. I feel like his parents felt their child died.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's something you can't explain.
Yeah.
You know, as a youth worker, when that teacher died, it felt like it was my child that got murdered. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was my child that murdered it because I knew the kid. I worked with it every day.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's scary.
So both sides, it, like, her doing it devastated me and killed me. And the teacher that I didn't know felt like my child died.
Mhm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I want people to know, if you haven't experienced this, you have no idea what feelings are going to hit you. All right? So the feelings and the pain is so extreme. Don't judge to experience it, because I've experienced something that is even not blood related, and I know what I lived through.
Yeah.
And it was death. It wasn't even my child. It was death, like someone in my family killed my loved one. It was such a mixed feeling of death that just shattered me for months after that. It was like my family killed my family, but it wasn't even that. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
It's a feeling you cannot describe.
Yeah, I have
That's
not
all I
been put
wanted
in
to
that, but I
say.
can tell you some of these cases, like this one, gets personal, for us. And this one was it was fairly personal to us, because this was somebody that followed Olivia and followed the work that she did, which is a lot of me. So she followed our work, and we're covering her case, and that's the crazy part about it. And so I'm just angry, because I just wish, it's the what if they would have called the cops, then would have one of them have survived, instead of all of them dying.
Absolutely.
It's heartbreaking.
I'm trying not to judge that girl. I'm trying not to judge her. There's a part of me is crying for her, and there's a part of me is questioning, but it's not up to me. And I just pray to God all of this surfaces up. Please, let's all of us not judge her, not if there's something definite that comes out that she's hid, let's then question it. But in the meantime, please let everyone just pray and be nice. We don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I agree.
No one knows how no one knows how we're going to feel with certain situations. I'm only experiencing what I've experienced, and it's painful. And I don't want no one judging her. Look, she's a 20-year-old baby girl.
Yeah, I understand, but we're going to be talking about it because it's in the affidavit, and
I know.
Yeah,
we can't stop that.
Yeah.
But I just look. We all fuck up in life. We all do shit in life.
Yeah.
And
trust me, my F ups are plastered across YouTube, so I get it.
Maybe she's holding a couple of things back. Maybe she was so petrified she's holding a couple of things back. But she wasn't evil. She wasn't the person that did this.
Right.
She's just a kid, didn't know what to do and didn't know how to react.
But you know what? I think I think that, we hear ages and we give people free passes. I'm sorry, but unfortunately, the one thing that we're taught is when we're in an extraordinary situation, we pick up the phone and call 911. Yeah. We don't wait 8 hours to go check on our friends when we see a creep walking down.
Too, Betty. I am questioning that too. But I'm trying to take her under my wings as a loving child, and
I get that.
That,
but she made mistakes, and it could have cost somebody a life.
I'm hoping that. But I so respect everyone that's questioning her. But it's too much for me to even push to that point, because I don't want her to be that. But she could. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's a sad situation, and this affidavit really didn't help her, too much, as far as being. And I'm sure I'm not the only person. I'm pretty sure I'm being very kind compared to what other people are going to be saying today, and I'm curious. But I do have to let you go. I got to get on to the other callers, and Justice for All Justice for All is going to be going live at 11.
I know. Chat's getting bored with me. Okay, that's fine.
Have a great day. God bless you.
You too. God bless you too, Betty.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for taking my call.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I don't even want to know what that cost. She called from Australia, and she was on there for 20 minutes. So I hope your bill's not too high for that. But thank you so much for calling in. I do appreciate it. We're not going to be taking any more calls because we're already at 2 hours and 15 minutes. We will be back later this evening on a live. I haven't set it up yet or figured out the topic we're going to be discussing. I'm going to review the affidavit again and just see what's all in it. So guys, don't forget, Justice for All is going live at 11 o'clock today. Please be sure to go over there and show him some love and support, and make sure you put some bull horns in his chat so he knows we love Justice for All and we are there to support him. For everybody that spent the last 2 hours with me discussing this case, I'm just want to take the time to thank you, all the lovely mods in here helping mod. We've modded a couple new people, Pebbles and Robert's girl has been modded to help as our chats are getting long, and they've been with me for some time. So we do have 2 new mods to help out, and because it was just getting crazy, I'm sorry, mods. I didn't set the subscribe mode on there, and it was open to anyone. And I'm sorry, I always fix that, but I did fix it later. So I apologize for making you guys work too hard. We don't like trolls in here and people that want to complain, and they have their own channels to do that on. They can stay off mine. I really don't care what they have to say. I can't help but to be me, and how I analyze this is how I analyze it. And just like you, how you guys analyze it is how you analyze it. We're not going to agree, and I'm glad we don't. I'm glad we don't have a community that parrots one another, that we all are individuals and we can all have opposing viewpoints and do it respectfully. I'm glad that you guys have a platform to, speak, like the lady from Australia, begging for people not to judge Dylan. That's what this is about. Put a little kindness. At the end of the day, I'm still pissed off. I can't change that. I'm upset because, we were told that they died quickly, and clearly that's not the case, because Xana was there whimpering and crying, and I don't even want to know how much pain she was in, and it just breaks my heart. And to know that she laid there and died, that's excruciating for me. It's excruciating for me to comprehend. And I'm sure it's excruciating for many of you guys to comprehend. But either way, we know she's not responsible for this heinous crime. I don't think that she was an accomplice to this man. I think she made a horrible, horrible decision that she's going to have to live with the rest of her life. But damn, 8 hours, those babies laid there and died. And I'm sorry that she watched a man walk past her that didn't belong in the house and didn't pick up the phone and call 911. She turned around, shut her door, and went to sleep. I don't know how somebody can do that. I just don't know how. I'd like it to be explained to me. There may be a reasonable explanation that explains this, such as, that's not the first time a guy in black with a mask on has walked down the hall toward me. That would explain why she didn't jump to conclusions. That would be a reasonable explanation for why she didn't think anything of it, shut her door, locked it, and went to bed. But being on that second floor, again, how can you not hear people screaming? You can't tell me that stabbing 4 people was the quietest way. We know that they fought back. We know that, at least Kaylee gave them hell, or this assailant hell. She fought for her life. And then to come to find out, he only had a mask covering his mouth and nose. That's weird for me. Like, did she recognize him? Why wouldn't she think that it was odd? Most of the people that were over there at the house partying were the same people that were over at the house partying every time. It wasn't like she would have known somebody didn't look right. I would presume. But again, I don't think she's involved. I just think she made a terrible mistake. A terrible, terrible mistake. And she's going to have to live with the fact that she listened to one of her roommates die and did nothing. And did absolutely nothing but go to sleep and shut the door. And she's going to have to live with that. Am I blaming her? I guess in part I am. I am blaming her in part, not for the horrific act, just for not helping. Just for not helping. And again, there could be a reasonable explanation that can explain that away. And I'm waiting to hear for that. But anyways, guys, go over. Don't forget to check out Justice for All. I saw he had it at 11 o'clock today. So be over there. Don't forget to show him some Bullhorn Betty love. Throw some coffee cup emojis or some bullhorns up in his chat for me. If you would, tell him I love him and to have a great day. For that, I am signing off. I will be back here later. I don't know, later this afternoon or into the evening. Not quite sure what time we're going to go live, but I will be doing a second live today. So God bless each and every one of you. Again, thank you so much for the people that called in to give their perspective. I want to thank the lady from Australia that called in, you know, and I think we can learn something from her, you know, maybe being a little kinder. I understand this child's 20 years old, you know, and just now starting a life and obviously already had hell in her life. So let's not go over there and start blowing her up and condemning her or anything like that. That's what this chat is for. So you guys can get your feelings out in a responsible manner on a chat separated from any of these kids. I don't want anybody from this chat room over there harassing or, you know, saying horrible things to Dylan on her Facebook or any other social media. It's not fair to her. That's what this chat is for. We discuss this. We dissect these cases. And yeah, not a child. She is an adult, 20 years old, almost old enough to drink. She can vote. She is an adult. You know, when it was Kylie Rodney, you know, same thing. We had to remind ourselves that Sammy Smith was an adult. So for that, guys, have a great day. God bless each and every one of you. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. Because in this case, it may have saved a life. Don't forget, you know, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. I always get distracted when I start talking. So anyways, guys, have a good day. Good day.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.